Let's talk about a question I get asked all the time about JV deals, and it's basically, what if the other person screws me out of the deal? This is a really common fear among new wholesalers, and honestly among wholesalers that have been around a little while. So what they're afraid of happening is, say you've got a buyer and the other wholesaler has a property under contract, and you say, hey, let's hook up my buyer to your seller, we'll JV the deal, and everybody makes money. And they say, okay, that's great. They take your buyer, do the deal, and then just forget about you and never pay you. So one way that everybody talks about, getting around that is doing a JV agreement, or as some people call a marketing fee agreement. And it's really this just a little form that says you and the other wholesaler are working together on this, and you both sign it and you put, we're splitting the deal 50-50. But the fear is that the other wholesaler, if they're experienced and it's their title company, they're going to send over the purchase agreement, and they're going to send over the assignment form, and they're going to take this JV agreement and go like this and get rid of it and throw it away, and the title company won't know that you're part of the deal. So let's talk about how to get around that and how I've done JV deals in the past. It works just fine, and that's by just adding your name to the assignment form. Now let's hop over to the computer so I can show this to you and kind of explain it to you as we go down. Okay, here's a typical assignment of contract agreement that you can get off my website, and in just a minute I'll show you where you can get that. But I'm just going to run through the numbers and the information real quick here. You can read all the fine print and the verbiage on this, but this is the contract you would use to assign a purchase agreement to your buyer. So let's say the other wholesaler has the deal, they have a purchase agreement, you have a buyer, and you're going to assign that purchase agreement to your buyer. All right, so you would fill out this contract, and in the first spot here, you would just fill in how much your assignment fee is. If it's $1,000, if it's 2,500, if it's 10 grand, if it's 50 grand, whatever, you put the assignment fee here. The next line is just typically where the wholesaler would put their name. So, wholesaler, the assigner is assigning their interest in the contract to the investor. Okay. And the only thing you're going to do different in a JV deal is put both your names there. So you're going to put your name or their name, and then, the other person's name. So you and the other wholesaler are assigning this deal to the investor so they can go forward and close the deal. All right, now this next set of information here is off of the purchase agreement. You're going to put the date that the purchase agreement was signed and dated, and then you're going to put the wholesaler's name that's on the purchase agreement. So if it's the other wholesaler, their name will go here. Wholesaler 1, and the property seller, the person selling the property, concerning the property located at, and you're going to put the property address in here. Now, like I said, you can read all this other fine print here, but down in this line, again, we're going to take the closing date from the purchase agreement. So if you have 30 days, count out 30 days and put that date, or 60 days or 90 days or whatever it is, typically 30, but put that date here. So the person you're assigning this deal to knows that they have to close by this date. You don't put contract closing date there. I just did it to point that out, but just fill in the date here. All right. And then your investor, if they've put down a deposit or not, you're going to list that here. So if it's, $1, if it's 500, if it's 1,000, if it's the whole 10,000, whatever the number is, if they're giving you a deposit, you're going to put that in this line, and it's going to be held at your title company or the other wholesaler's title company, and you're going to put the name of that title company here. All right, now the only way I've altered this from a standard assignment contract, if I've added a second a signer line to it so both wholesalers can sign. So you can do the same thing. You can download the form off my website and just it's in a Word document. So you just go down here and just add the second wholesaler to it. And so they would sign, and you would sign and date it, and then you have your investor sign it. The seller of the property never sees the assignment form. The only people this form involves are you, the other wholesaler, if there is one, and the person buying the property. The seller of the property never sees the assignment form. Okay. And then down at the bottom, I put a note on here. I just scribbled this on here. You can do the same. So when your title company gets this paper, they're clear on what's happening. And I just wrote note to title company, assignment fee to be split 50-50 between wholesaler 1 and wholesaler 2. Or, you would put the wholesaler's name there, John Wholesaler and Tim Wholesaler. At the time of closing, please draft 2 checks, or however you want to write it, okay? But then the title company knows that you get a check and the other wholesaler get a check, and you're going to split it 50-50. So that's how you keep yourself from being cut out from a deal. There's nothing worse than doing a deal with somebody else and having them screw you in any business, in real estate, in anything. So cover your butt. And the last thoughts on this are, don't be afraid to tell everybody that this is your first deal or you're a new wholesaler, because the title company, they don't care, or they shouldn't care, because their business is to do deals, just like your business is to do deals, and just like a realtor's business is to do deals. So if you're brand new, just say, hey, this is my first deal, kind of walk me through it so I understand what's going on, and have them kind of, handhold you through the transaction so you know how the process works. They're not going to be irritated by it. They like that you're bringing them business, and just say, you know what, I'll continue to bring you my deal so you can make money, but just bear with me on the first few, so so I know what's going on and know what your process and know what documentation you need and all that. And don't be afraid to tell anybody that, because a seller, an investor, a title company, another wholesaler, whoever it is, because everybody was new at some point. Okay, everybody's been through this. A title agent was new at one point, a realtor was new at one point, an investor was new at one point. So don't be ashamed of that, and use it to your advantage to gain all the knowledge that you can gain about how this all works. Okay, so that's it for this video, how not to get screwed in a JV deal, and I'll talk to everybody real soon. See ya.